Welcome back to the Bak'n Show. In today's episode, we're going to look behind the curtain and see how the girls are doing. Let's take a look. Now, as you can see, the girls are doing great. The smell, as soon as you open the tent, smacks you right in the mouth. Now, what we're going to do today, outside of just showing you the plants, I'm going to defoliate. I actually started last night, and then I stopped, and I said, oh, I should be videoing this. So I waited till this morning to get in here to finish them up. Now, I've already done these two here. Still had just a little bit more to take off. For those two there, but that's pretty much all I was taking off of these front two, and I'm gonna pull them out so you can get a better look at them. I'm gonna put them up on a stand so you can get a nice close look at them. Remember last video, I said I was gonna put a trellis nut up, and after I did the video, I said, well, hold on, let's not do the trellis nut. One, because behind me on the other side, opposite side of where we are right now, is the 5x5. And we did the trellis net. I had the 3 layers of trellis net and that cocoa and that ebb and flow system that a grow ace. And the plants just took off. They're actually right here next to us in my bathroom. Here is my drying room, and they're drying fine. Everything's going great. But as I was saying over there, the plants got so big when I harvested them. Now, granted, I've been growing with these elastic trellis nets for a little while now in my 4x4s, here and in my one in the laundry room. And never really had a problem taking the net off of the plants. They never grew to the size that they got in that 5x5 and caused a problem getting the trellis nets off. And I had 3 layers of them. So I did a little damage to the plant, but once I got them out of there, I realized how big these plants get in this cocoa. And I know it was part of that ebb and flow system. That grow ace system, if you're interested in it, definitely check it out. Fantastic system. Plug and go. Once you get it set up for your situation, great system to run in. The cocoa, and I know it's cocoa because I'm getting ready to get more into the cocoa thing in just a second. But as I was saying with that, great system, check them out. Definitely be worth the buy. Now, when it comes to the cocoa, now over here, these 2 tents here now are all in cocoa, 2-gallon pots. One thing I learned about cocoa after this is let me see, I had the one there, then the one there, and we're back over here. So this is my 3rd run using cocoa. And what I realized, you don't need a lot of medium in cocoa to get massive plants. In the grow ace system, I think those are 3 or 5-gallon pots. I know they say 5 gallons, but I don't believe that's a 5-gallon bag that's inside the system there. So I decided to use 2 gallons, like I used over here once before. The first cocoa run I did was the orange cellar, which ran in this tent here in a 2-gallon pot. So it let me know then that the plants will definitely take off and get big in 2-gallon pots in cocoa. Continuously feeding. I kind of went over the feeding thing, what I did, because I was starting my plants in soil in solo cups. So when I transplanted them over into these 1 gallons, over into the 1 gallons, not these, the watering wasn't every day because of that reason. Not getting into that today. But now that the plants are taking off in the 1 gallons, they definitely get fed once a day. Don't give them a lot, but once a day. Now up here in this 2-gallon in flower, with the plants getting this size, and again, I'm gonna let you see these in just a second. I'm watering these twice a day now, and why I did that is because over in the grow ace system, when it was running in that system, they were getting fed 3 times a day. And over here, I could do 3, but 2 seems to suffice running them with this here. And just like I said, I'm gonna let you see in just a second. These plants are hardy and strong as hell. I don't know how well you can see that. Matter of fact, let me take a look. Yeah, you can see it. It's a little light haze there, but we turn this down. But yeah, these plants in the stems are extremely strong and sturdy. So I said I'm not going to use a trellis net this time because I like to be able to pull out the plants, work on them, defoliate them with no problems as they need it. And then they've been this particular one here and that one there has been lollipopped to a sufficient height. It's the 3 back there and this one here that still needs attention. And I'm going to use bamboo poles this time. I've used them in the past and they definitely work. That allows you to take the plants in and out of the tent with no problem, and still to give the branches the support they need. Because like I said, this thing here is growing fantastic, and you see how full this is right here. And this is week 3 of flower. I might be wrong, might be week 4 now. I might have just switched over. I think it is week 4. You see how sturdy these are. These side ones here are going to definitely collapse a little once the weight gets on them. So that's where these bamboo poles are going to come into play. We're going to use these instead of, and also yo-yos. I keep my yo-yos across the top. I don't have any up there right now, but I'm going to put a couple up there just in case, backup, to help support these. The yo-yos won't really come into play until later on in flower 7, 6, 7, around it when the weight is starting to definitely develop on the branches. I'll definitely slide the yo-yos down there at that time, so we can support the plants. And then by that point, it would be no need to take them in and out of the tent anymore. Another good reason why I'm doing it this way is because I always get these fronts nice and defoliated and lollipopped and nice and clean. That back row back there, once these get to this size here, now you got to climb all over top of these to get to that back row. And that back row doesn't get the attention it needs. Now, if you had the side doors, like on my other AC Infinity, which is back there, and the one I got in the laundry room, this is one of the older models here. The doors were on the side, so I can get to the plants from the side doors, so it makes it easier to get to that. But if you have a tent that doesn't have the side door access, then you just got to kind of climb over your plants to get to those back rows back there. And in this case here, when you're doing it like this, bamboo, you just pull the plants out and work on them. Always use some glasses. Or some, you should be using the, something like Method 7s, something like that, because these LEDs, you don't want to go blind with these lights. But you keep some kind of eye protection on when you're using bamboo, because when you just periodically, you're in here, once the bamboo is up on the plants and they're in there like, you in there, you want to reach to the back and you say, oh, let me get that leaf out of the way there, and reach back there and poke yourself in the eye with one of these bamboo poles, bamboo stakes. So definitely put some eye protection on when you are working on your tent. That's why we're using that bamboo, so I can take the plants in and out of here and manage them the way I want to. 2-gallon pots, cocoa, straight cocoa. Didn't do any mixing. There were a lot of growers out there mix theirs up with perlite, earthworm castings. Eventually we're going to try that. Again, I'm new to the cocoa game, so the first few runs, the 4, have all been straight cocoa, and that's where we at. Eventually, like I said, we're going to try some different stuff. I want to do a DWC run and try that too, and I want to try that in my 2x4, or at least, no, excuse me, one of the 4x4s. They're either this one or the one in my laundry room. Do a DWC run in there because the plants are going to get huge in there. I was considering doing it in the 2x4, but those are only 5 foot in height. So the way these plants grow in this cocoa, this is a form of hydroponics. So I know in a DWC, those plants are going to take off. So I want to make sure I maximize, give them all the space they need to grow. I'm only going to do probably 2 plants the first time around, so I can, learn the game, get familiar with it, make sure I got all of the proper products that I need to run the system, the whole 9. So we're definitely in the coming at the end of the summer is when I'm gonna probably do that. After August is this is June, end of June. Actually, it's June the 22nd, I believe, around the date, 22nd, 23rd, somewhere right around there. So after I do my vacations for the summer, I got a few of them getting ready to come up back to back to back. After that's all done, come September or so, I'm gonna start setting that up and doing the run in, because September I'm going to be running all new seeds. Everything you'll see me growing after these runs here, they're following the summer, September time frame, like I'm saying, we'll be doing all new seeds, and all the tents that I got in here, everything will be new. So that's where we at. But back to this here, we're gonna be pulling each one of these plants out here. I'm gonna put them up on a turntable like I've done in the past. We're gonna work on them. I'm gonna put the first two out so you can see what they look like, and we can go ahead and throw the bamboo up on those now, since I've already lollipopped them and cleaned them up as much as I need to. So this, you can just see how that's done. And then the ones in the back, we're just gonna defoliate those and do the same thing. Another good thing too, this plant here, this is the granny apple fritters here. She's extremely sturdy, very strong. You know, I mean, look at that. You know, I'm just shaking it, and she ain't gonna need that much support, because she's a very strong plant. And as she continues to grow, she will get even stronger. And I'm feeding the silica. Silica is supposed to help with that. But now over here, this is the Pulp Fiction. Different story. Branches aren't as sturdy, thinner branches, and definitely need support, because if not, it just flops over. And I know once the weight develops on these branches here, the buds get bigger, it's going to flop all over the place. So this one here needs more support than this one here. So I wanted to show you the two different looks. You know, a lot of times you get plants that are extremely sturdy and strong like that, and you know, silica has a play in that, the way you grow, so on and so forth. But some strains just are linky. And this granted, this granny apple fritters is definitely going to produce more than this Pulp Fiction. But both of them are dynamite smoke. This Pulp Fiction, fabulous taste, great high, but she doesn't get big. She's not going to give you a whole lot in yield. She's more like a medium. Granny apple fritters, that's a different story. She's going to dynamite taste, great high, and she's going to give you a big yield. And so, you know, check them out. I know that came from Elevate Seeds. So check them out and see if they still got that around. You definitely won't be disappointed if you could find that pheno in that pack there. It was another pheno I had two of that. It was a little stout, a little shorter. But that one there survived and stayed around. So I've been just kind of running it. And this will be, no, it's not the last one. I have this same setup that's in here about to start, I just flipped to flower in the 2x4. All those plants are in there. It's like 6 of them? Yeah, 6 plants in there. I think it's the same ones of these, and one other. I don't want to misspeak, but I know it's 6 plants in this tongue tied, and it's these strains here, and they are going to eventually make it over here into the 5x5 in the grow system, and I'll be doing that in a day. So I got to get them transplanted and then put into the pots over there. But those I just cut down, and I haven't cleaned the old pots out, get the old cocoa out, so on and so forth. And I'm doing a video on that because there's some stuff that interesting I kind of found with that there, and I'll say that information soon when I do that video. But I'll talk about that then. But yeah, this is what we're going to do over here today. Take each individual plant out, sit it up on this turntable, let you get a look at it, throw the bamboo on it, and then put it back in. Got these 5 here, and this one over here, the Intergalactic Buddha. I didn't go over the strains. Let me do that real fast before we get started. Intergalactic Buddha, Pulp Fiction, Granny Apple Fritters. In the center, Biscotti Mint. Back left, Sour Power, Pheno number 1, and back right, that's a Funky Chapel. I think that's pheno number 3. Nope, that's pheno number 1. So that's what we got going on in here, and that's what we're doing over here today. So let me get the turntable and stuff set up over here so we can get each one of the plants up. Take a look at them before I put the work in, and then we'll go from there. Now this is the granny apple fritters. I just pulled it out, closed the curtain so you can see the size of her. You can see the bottom's all cleaned up, lollipopped, nice defoliation job, airflow all the way through there with zero problems. Light penetration is not going to be an issue, so that's what all those lowers. So you see my curtain catching the plant. You see all these lowers right here are going to get plenty of light. But let me stop that there, and let's put some bamboo poles on it. Let me get you one more. Matter of fact, let me get you a little closer so you can see what the buds look like. A little closer, and then we'll put the poles up. All right, we're gonna start right up here at the top of the girl. Get in a little closer for you. This is the very top of the plant. It's looking good, nice and frosty. Developing all the way down this main shoot. I'll back out in a minute so you can see. Come out a little bit more. Yeah. But you can see that was that main cola I was just showing you. Close up. Get up in here a little bit more. And you can, got in the light there. See if we can get that to focus a little bit. There we go. Nice pink hair starting to develop up there. But yeah, the plant, again, is a big developer. If you keep that inner cleaned up, all that stuff down there will be nice size nugs. Now that little bit of stuff down there isn't going to develop into very much. You might wind up just cooking with this stuff right in here, because that's an outer branch. But as you get up to the top, it fills in nicely. But yeah, that's how this granny apple fritters is looking. Dynamite smooth. Very easy to grow. Hungry girl, but she's definitely a big yielder. So let's throw some bamboo stakes. We'll put you back up on the tripod, and we're gonna throw some bamboo stakes in. All right, we're back. As you can see, the girl is here. I got my stakes here, and I'm using this Velcro roll. You can get this at any hardware store, Home Depot, Lowe's. It's great because you can keep reusing it. It's very easy to just tear them off. When you need a little section, you just rip it off and wrap that. Like I said, my bamboo, I'll solder that right here. And again, these are the longer poles. I believe these are the 4-foot ones, the 4-foot poles. I wanted the 3 foots, but they didn't have any. But looking at this girl here, I needed the 4 foots. So my first one, I do the center. Now, granted, you're gonna kill off some roots here, but it's not gonna hurt the plant. Trust me. You just push it down. You're gonna hear the little break in it, like but killing my roots. That's all right though. Would have been better to do this when I first transplanted this in here and just let the plant grow up in here like that. But I didn't. I was going, like I said, was going to put a trellis net on here first, and but wound up not doing it. So we're going to do it this way, just to show you how it can be done. Another way it can be done. Now, granted, if you want to do this in the future yourself, try to put the bamboo poles in here when you transplant it. Just put a few of them in there. You don't need them all. You won't know exactly where you need them at. You're going to need a main for your main cola, and then you'll see the big ones on the outside. You go like these here. You go, they're definitely, even with smaller, you could tell these were going to come out. So you put like 4 or 5 of them in here, 2 here, 2 here in your center, and then you work from that. You might have to add 1 or 2 more, something like this. Depends on the size of your plant. But if you control it, you can do this with this, especially with the way this is growing. Now you got a bush, but it stays smaller. You're not going to need, obviously, you're going to need a main to hold it up. More than likely, when the plants are smaller, the branches are stronger, so you won't even need support like that. They will just flop over some, but won't completely collapse. These here, since they're so much bigger, once these completely fill out, they're going to definitely do this here. So to stop that from happening, they'll just come out about your high, so far, And I'm gonna manage them this way. I want them to guide just like this. They're not gonna get any taller than what they are. So they stay just like this, and with the support, the plant has realized it has support and it doesn't have to hold itself up. All the energy will go straight to just developing nice sized buds. That's the same thing with a trellis net. Once the plant realizes it's got support, it'll just put all that energy in to just developing you nice sized buds. Now, I'm not going to do each one of these plants on video. I'm just going to show you these first two, especially since I've already got them lollipopped and defoliated. And the different styles that the plant are growing is a good example of how you could, what to do with when the plants grow differently. Like this is taller, much stronger, robust. You don't need as much. The other one that we're going to do, the Pulp Fiction, is not the same. Yeah, and sometimes, like in this case over here, and I'll show you that. You spin this around just a little bit. You get like two branches like this down here, down low. All you can use this one bamboo pole to support both of them. Just put one strap down here. So again, these colas down here aren't going to get that big. This is going to be the weight right here. It'll, topple over just a little bit, but with the support, you'll be fine. Same thing with the one right next to it. So this one pole will take care of this and this one up here that I'm attaching to. So yeah, this one pole is going to support quite a bit. Now this particular branch here is really, really strong. I don't think it's going to need support. Even once this cola head develops, it's only going to tilt over, but so far. But we'll keep an eye on it. That's the beauty of doing it like this. So once it starts developing and getting bigger, if it does start toppling over, and I doubt it, but I'm telling you, this is very strong. Doubt if it does, but if it does, I have the option just to take a bamboo pole, slap it right down in there, give it some support. Now, in the beginning of this video, I was mentioning poking yourself in the eye. Now you see what I'm talking about. This would be down on the ground. This is about 2 feet up off the ground now. This would be lower. So when you're reaching across it, bam, hitting yourself in the face. And you could put something over top of this. If you can find some little rubber balls or something like that to sit on top of your poles there. Save your face. It definitely will help. And if you ever go to do these, put this same system, trying to use bamboo, and you want to use that Velcro, just make sure you don't put it on there extremely tight. Give it a little play so as the branches grow, it has some room to expand and not get choked off. It's just a small little tip. But that's all I'm gonna put on here today. Now, I got 1, 2, 3 that I think are pretty strong. Like it's that one there, there's this one right over here, and I got one back here. Well, here go another one here. They're pretty damn strong. So I'm gonna leave them without any support for now. If I really needed to, I don't even have to put more bamboo in here. Just to keep those upright and not completely flopping over, all I would have to do is just take, let's say for instance, this one right here started flopping. If I really thought it really needed some support, I could take a piece of Velcro, wrap it around the outside of here, and that'll keep that one cola, one branch supported. All you gotta do is just take it, tear it off, wrap it around here, wrap it around this side here. It'll stay upright the way, just put it on a little tight, and it'll stay up here. And that'll stop this one flopping outside of the little framework here. And it's the same with the other ones on the other side. So those small little tricks you can do. You don't have to keep adding more bamboo. I have it spread out enough, and I'm gonna take you off the tripod in a second so you can see. Spread out enough so plenty of light penetration. It'll be easy to have to stick my hand in here, to have to snatch a leaf if I need to. We get deeper in the flower. And yeah, it's using bamboo is nice and easy. I enjoy it. I liked it. I've used it in the past. I like to change things up here and there. But yeah, when you're doing it like this and the plants are this size here is a simple way to do it. And again, getting used to this whole cocoa game and the size that these plants are definitely getting. I want to see. I think I'm gonna probably stick with this bamboo, because in the net, again, unless you're doing minimal plants, you did 2 plants in a 4x4, 4 plants max in a 4x4. You might be able to manage it if you're flipping the flower a little early. If you let these plants do, like in my past grows in the 4x4s using soil and a re-amended soil, I let the plants get about 27 to 30 inches before I flip them the flower, because I know I have plenty time and plenty space for them to grow up and get taller. In this cocoa, it ain't the same game. These plants grow faster, and I can't use that same metric as 27 inches. I'm coming down more like in the 20-inch ballpark before I flip them the flower. And then you got the growth, because these things just take off and flower in this cocoa and using and the floral fraction nutrients. And I can't say that that definitely has a part to do with it. The nutrient, this cocoa, and then your light, obviously your light. Just those 3 main things there, and then genetics, obviously. You get those all dialed in, fantastic yields from your plants. But that's what that one looks like. Let me turn it on so you can kind of see it all the way around. So now if you wanted to, also, one quick thing before we flip the plants out, you could just cut these off. It's a little knuckle on each one of these bamboo. They only go so far before they get these little knuckle. You know this plant isn't any taller than this right here. So this part here that's this exposed, you could just cut that away and dispose of it. And then now you have it's perfectly high enough to support the branches without, digging into your face, your neck, and all that as you reach across. Just a small little tip you can use. Also know when you cut them, obviously you can reuse these. You don't always need 4-foot poles. A 3-foot pole on some of these branches would have been just fine. So you can make your own 3-foot pole by cutting 6, 12 inches off, whatever you need, and make this a little bit more manageable. I might do this here, just cut these here. So again, like I'm saying, save your face, because you're damn sure reaching across, you're damn sure going to hit them. But yeah, that's what the girl looks like, done. And in the coming weeks, I'll show you any more attachment adjustments I need to make. I might, again, in this case here, might have to take this one and give it a little bit more support up here. I'll see. But yeah, that's what the granny apple looks like. Now let's do the Pulp Fiction. All right, this is the Pulp Fiction. Now you see how she is. She isn't growing the same way. Let me move this just a little. As the granny apple fritters. She isn't as tall and as robust and strong as that other plant. But once again, granted, fantastic smoke, but grows totally different. You can see all of these little branches right here. Look at that. All that needs support. Well, that'll be way down here on the ground by the time we get any more weight on it. You see how she's flopping already. Look at that, all that. So this one here will be a little different to post up, but we always start right there in that center. And then we work our way around the outside. But you can see it's already cleaned up. There's plenty of light penetration now, airflow can go all the way through there. So, and a little bit more could have been cleaned up right down in here, but I think I'm just gonna leave it alone. That little stuff down there, have it. Yeah, that stuff right about here. I'm gonna get rid of that little stuff down here. Yeah, and then throw some support on it. But again, it's gonna be plenty light penetration. As you can see, it's all opened up. Airflow will be great, light penetration will be great. So we should definitely get a nice yield out of this. This plant is not as big as the other one, but you can see how she kind of grew leaning. When she make her way back around, and you can see how she's leaning to that one side there. See that? So yeah, we're gonna support that up, because that's what she'll be doing. If I don't, it'll just all flop that way. So let's throw some stakes in. But yeah, I got the first one in. And I'm gonna just take this and strap it up so we can stand her up a little more. It's the beauty of a plant. You can manipulate it a little bit, get it to grow the way you want to. Try to make sure I don't have a lot of branches or buds leaning up against this pole and stopping the growth. But it's going to touch it some, but that's all fine and dandy. And just like I mentioned to you in just a second ago, all I do is take a pair of shears or something, come right down to the top. It's not going to get any taller, and cut that right off. So again, save my eye and face. Now granted, these poles do come in 3-foot sections. Sometimes the 3 foots will be a lot better. It won't be a waste. You get taller plants like the one we just did. 4s are great, but you got these smaller plants. 3s are what you want. Again, I didn't have any 3s, so I'm gonna make me some 3s. And this bamboo is not very expensive, so it's not like I'm wasting a lot of money here. I think these packs cost like $5 or something like that. You can get them at your local hydro store, on Amazon, and I believe these are in Home Depot and Lowe's too. All right, just like that, we have this one all supported all the way around. Now there's a few branches that I left, like this one here, hanging on the outside, which is fine. Like I said, I could just attach some Velcro right around here just to give it a little bit more support. In the coming weeks, I'm gonna keep my eye on it, see how she flops. If she flops up a lot, then I'm gonna attach some Velcro right here and just give her a little bit of support. Everything else seemed pretty well supported. Again, we got one flopper down here at the bottom here, and if I need to, same deal. Put a piece of Velcro down there to hold it up. Plenty light penetration through the top and airflow through here. So we should definitely get a nice yield out of here from a plant of this size. Again, like I said, she's not a huge yielder. I would call it more of a medium yield. That would be that granny apple fritters would be more of the large yield. But this here, just a medium yield plant. Definitely need a little bit more support, but that's how we do the plants with bamboo. Now what I'm gonna do now, and I'm not gonna bore you, having you watch me do each one of these plants. Those back 3 all need to be defoliated, lollipop, and then the bamboo put in. Once I get all of them done, I'll bring you back, let you see what the plants look like set up inside the tent. We'll be back. Had to bring you back right quick. I wanted you to take a look at this girl here. This was the one that was in the middle there. And when I pulled her out, she just completely flopped over because of the size of this girl. I didn't even realize she had gotten this big, so I had to hold her up there so you can see her. The main cola, I believe, is this one here. Yes, it'll be this one. It's the thickest one in here. But they're all, look at, pretty even all the way around, height-wise. But the thickness of the leaf, there's plenty of these leaves this size here, in here. Got my can right there. So I definitely need to clean this up and definitely support her with the bamboo, because if not, that's what's going to happen. But yeah, when I boiled her out, I said, oh man, maybe I should put this one on video too, because this one is going to take a little bit more of the bamboo and it's going to look a little different. Plus I hadn't defoliated or lollipopped anything on the video this time. I wasn't going to do it, but this is a damn good candidate to do it. So what I'm going to first do, I'm going to grab me one of my bamboo poles. I'm going to put this in here to support so I can have her stand up instead of keep flopping over on me as I defoliate her. Now you see how that just flopped over on the side there? This one had a lot of roots down in there. I can feel them as I'm going through. So you can see I got some work to do with this one here. Before I even get the defoliated or lollipop anything, definitely going to have to support her some. As you can see, I don't want to break any of these branches, so I want to quickly get that done before I get to work on the rest. It's a very healthy girl, extremely big. Biscotti mint does her kick out. This is a big producer. As you can see, look at it. I'm gonna pull this, keep it to the side. Look at how, pull a couple of these big leaves off. Look at how she's stacking right up this one branch right here. I mean, it's nice sized buds all the way, I don't know how well you can see this, all the way down here to damn near the very bottom. Yeah, and then there's some junk that'll come off, but this come off. Yeah, now we starting to get some development. From here on, that's all going to develop into something very nice. That's about a foot. That's each one of these buds are going to develop into something nice. So this is a big developer. I mean, excuse me, big producer. And but don't have the strength and the vigor of the granny apple fritters, because the granny apple fritters is roughly about, well, maybe doesn't have as much. Yes, we do. It's about the same. Once I clean it up, it'll be about the same, but it's just not as strong as their granny apple fritters. Plant definitely needs some maintenance to clean up all this bottom mess, because if not, eventually you could cause some problems. Powdery mildew, because the airflow isn't getting through, so on and so forth. So you definitely want to keep this big girl cleaned up, because she got some big leaves on. And this is the week 3 cleanup that, you know, a lot of people try to follow that schedule. Week 3 of flower, well, roughly with day 21. You got from day 15 to 21 right in that ballpark. You come in and do your defoliation, and then you get one more around like day 42. Some people just periodically come through and take leaves. It depends on you. You just don't try not to stress the plant out for so much. You know, it is causing some stress when you're taking off quite a few leaves. I've done it in the past and caused problems, herm problems. But we all learn from them. Figure out what the hell caused it. You look and see if you got light leaks and all that other stuff, and you keep notes. And you start realizing, you know what? I stress the plant out so much by snatching so much of it off. And you know, weaker strains are going to herm when they stressed. You got some strong strain, a strong strain, strong lineage. You know, I mean, the chances of those herming aren't as great. You know, when they stable genetics and they've been put through the ringer, shouldn't have to deal with the herm thing. And I mentioned a little earlier in this video that come the fall time frame, end of the summer, September, I'm going to be running all new genetics. And I haven't picked anything yet. So if anybody got any suggestions, something you might want to see ran on the channel, leave it down in the comments and I'll take a look at it. I want a combination of both sativa, leaning, genetics, and mostly everything you're growing out is hybrids anyway. So I just want something, you know, got a little upper kick and a combination of both. I like to have both. Let's put it like that. Something I can smoke and still get work done, and something I can smoke right before it's time to go to bed is gonna knock me out. Now, I'm gonna show you what I was talking about, where you can just kind of make a web. I'm gonna do that now. Around the bottom of here, instead of trying to strap each one of these to a pole. I'm gonna start right around here. The roll, I roll part of it to one of the bamboo poles, and I'm just gonna go straight across the bottom here. Remember, this is Velcro, so it's not going anywhere, and just like that, I'm gonna turn it just enough so you can see. Take that off here like that, and that's just sitting right on there, like that. Now I don't have to tie it to a pole. That's tied to a pole. There's a couple inside ones in here that I'm gonna clear up. But that's just for the ones that's just kind of dangling around the outside there. That's how that is right there. And this piece here flop back and forth or whatever, but again, I could take that off. That is pretty low. And it ain't gonna develop into nothing. Same thing with this here. It's a long video today, but I know I haven't put videos out like I normally do. You used to seeing them shit damn near daily. I got something going up. But want this better. This kind of just putting out a bunch of content. Just make it, a little bit more quality, a little bit more educational, if possible. Shit, I still need education myself with it, but just to passing the knowledge that I do have, passing that on to the newer growers, and then even some of the growers that's been around for a while, might be a little tip you hear, like, oh man, that might work all right in my system. When it comes to pulling the leaves, I try this pretty much to pull the ones that are covering the lower bud sites and the one with the red stems. I know I'm gonna clean this one up. I'm like, you see all that, but that growth is coming right back, without a doubt. And I got one more pheno, I think that's that Funky Chapel in there, that's real leafy. That's gonna take the same type of training. But the other one back there, what is that, Sour Power? Yep. Yeah, and that one there is more like the granny apple fritters. So I won't do that one on film. And I know a lot of growers are going, some growers don't do the defoliating and lollipopping, and they try to minimize it as much as possible. But in my experience with a lot of the stuff, again, I've had stuff harm and I understand what they're talking about. But most of the stuff that I've grown, that I've done this to, really doesn't have a problem. It really helps it. Again, I've grown some weak strain stuff, and yes, doing this definitely caused it to harm. Remember, your light in these tents are only going to penetrate roughly a foot or so with a canopy, especially when it's full. So anything down here is pretty much a waste. So you break this down into thirds. The top 2/3 of the plant is probably going to get your light. That's going to be your A buds and then your B buds. All this stuff down here is your seed, your junk. If you grow it, you keep it. You can turn it into butter, make edibles, oil, that kind of stuff. Dab, But even when you're doing your dab, you still want to grow. You want to do it with the better stuff up top. If you want to get any return from it. But yeah, that's what the girl looks like in the turntable there. This is all cleaned up at the bottom. Got a little brace around the outside of her to hold her in, the inner branches anyway. And then all the tall ones up there are all supported by their own individual bamboo stakes. Now all I have to do now is go and chop off the tops of these. But that's what she looks like with the tops chopped off of her. All cleaned up, opened up. Let me turn the turntable on. You can see how she looks on the opposite side. But you see how she's all supported. See my Velcro strap right there, holding up all those loose ones that's hanging on the outside there. Cleaned up all that mess down there. And then that one there could go too. But I'll see. Actually, she's gonna go. So yes, I'm definitely gonna take that off of there. But yeah, you see how I got that all cleaned up. Made almost like a little bouquet. And that can go back to where she was sitting at in the middle. Now, what I'm gonna do is the other ones I'm gonna do off camera, and once I finish those, I'll show you the end product. All right, that's the Funky Chapel number 1. I keep saying that 3. Funky Chapel number 1, all cleaned up. As you can see, took all that bottom stuff off of there. See my trash can over there, damn near full. But yeah, took all the bottoms off of it, took all of the big leaves off, left enough leaves to keep the plant growing without having to regenerate leaves. I've seen, again, plenty of people strip these down to nothing and then let them come all the way back, and they still do great. But I didn't think it was necessary. I'm just cleaning it up to give me some airflow and light penetration to prevent any powdery mildews or anything else that can go on especially with this tent here, gonna be kind of overstuffed. It's 5 plants in here. Wish it was just 4, but I got 5 in here. And that's what it is. So let me get this one in and get the last one out of this tent out, which is the Sour Power. Then we can do the last one over there, the funky, what is this? The Intergalactic Buddha that's in that 2x2.5 tent. So let's do that next. And this is the Sour Power, the Pheno number 1. This is the last one in that tent, that 4x4 that we need to get done. I was going to turn the turntable on, but as soon as I do that, it's going to flop over. I did get her to stand up just for this little video shot here. You see, she's full, plenty leaves, healthy leaves all at the bottom, but all that got to go. It's not going to amount to nothing. Clean up all of that up here with the big leaves, red stems. Give me a little bit more air penetration down there, and we'll be rocking and rolling. So let me get this one done, and I'll come back and show you what it should look like when we're finished. Then this one here is the Intergalactic Buddha. This is the last one we have to get done. This is the one that's in this tent over here in the 2x2.5. As you can see, the branches are much sturdier, more like the Grand Apple fritters, nice and thick, rigid, and these sides standing straight up. And this one's from seed. Everything else in here is from clone. So we get the big leaves all cleaned up, and I'm gonna open her up just a little bit. I'm not gonna do too much with the, because it doesn't really need anything. But actually, I might not even mess with it at all. Just just clean it up, clean up that bottom down there, and then get rid of all the big leaves up here. I'm not gonna put anything on here. I'm gonna just let her go the way she is. We'll be right back. All right, I'm back. I was defoliating this plant, cleaning it all up, was loving how this plant is looking and growing. I'm like, man, we're gonna get a nice harvest off of this. Nice and frosty already. Then I was making my way down, and then I started noticing, let me see if I can point it out. See that little spot, that's a pollen sac. That's all that one. So then I started looking around, then I found a couple more. See if I can find it. There's another one right up in here, right behind that leaf right there. See that right there? Pollen sacs. I'm seeing pollen. Here's another one. That look like it's opened already. And there's some more right here. So yeah, this thing done went ahead. Some aren't open, some are open. So with the wetness on the eye, once I seen it, I sprayed it all down real quick. So if any pollen is getting released, I can kind of catch it in the air before it fuck up anything next door in that tent. But with these tents so damn close to one another, it's a good possibility that some of that pollen did go into that tent next door. So I might have a few seeds in here. Look like I caught it early. I mean, only seen a couple open, and most everything else I've seen are just developing. So this Intergalactic Buddha, and that's what this was, which was growing great, but it hermed on me. So that's all good. All I'll do is just take one of the plants that's in this 4x4, once I clean this tent up, and slide that over here. And then it'll just be 4 in here and 1 in here instead of 5 in here. That's all good. But once I saw this, I said, shit, I would grow it out, finish it up, because it's growing so nicely. Goodness gracious, I know it's gonna probably be some dynamite weed, but it's gonna be full of seeds, and I just don't want a bunch of damn seeds in my weed. So knowing that, she got to go. So let me get the clips and cut her ass down. And like that, no one bites the dust. Well, now that I've seen that, I don't want to, let me push this up a little bit. You can see me when I'm stepping in front of the camera. I don't want to open this curtain back up now. Not yet anyway. Hopefully you can see me. So I want to get in here and close this tent up. I might even take some water or sprayer and spray these plants in here just in case some pollen got loose in there. Hopefully I could catch it and kill it off before it pollinates anything in here. So that's what I've done in the past. Situations like this occur, I'll just take some straight water, spray it over top of the plant, and hopefully kill off any pollen that might got loose. And you might get a seed or two in there, can't get around that part of it, but that's growing. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. If you don't know where the genetics you're growing came from, sometimes you take a chance, and that's what happens. And that's what I did. That seed there came from a friend of mine, and for the most part, he gives me fantastic stuff. Rarely things harm. I mean, it has happened in the past, but even when I bought seeds from reputable breeders, I've never had things harm. It might possibly been my fault, or it's possibly been the genetics. But that's where we stand. I want to open this up so you can see it, because I reorganized this in here a little bit. Matter of fact, let me spray these first, and then I'll let you see what they look like. Well, I've sprayed everything, misted it down. Like I said, the tent that it was in was right there. So with it being that close, it's virtually impossible for me not to have something going on in this tent right here. Hopefully it's minimal, it's little. Don't have to worry about it too much. If we get a seed, a few in there, that's cool. As long as it ain't too much. I mean, I look like I caught it early. A few of the sacks have popped open. Hopefully it just affected that plant, the intergalactic. But if it didn't, hey, got to roll with the punches. So, but as you can see, everything has been cleaned up, wide open now, much more airflow, light penetration. So we should still get a fantastic grow out of this here. Now, one other thing I noticed, and I didn't notice it until I got all the plants out of here, my fan that sits right there is broke. Stopped running on me. It's just sitting there. And I got some new fans just came in the mail. I bought a couple extra ones just in case something like that was to happen. So I always have a standby. So I got 2 fresh ones that clip to the poles and oscillate. So I'll put one of them down there at the bottom and put another one up at the top. So only got one fan up top, as you can see that one there, blowing air up top. But that's what this here looks like now. One of these plants in here by next week's video. You got 5 in here now. One of these 5 will be over here next week, over there in that tent. We just took that one out. I'm going to go in here now. I'm going to clean everything up, wipe everything down. And then I'm going to slide a plant over there. Probably this granny apple fritter, since she's now sitting right here in this middle. So take that, put her over there, and let her rock out over there. But that's all I have for you in this long video. If you like what you saw, give me a thumbs up, leave me a comment, share, and subscribe. And until the next one, stay baking.